Hey, it's Greg Luther. And listen, I wanted to give you an update as far as what's going on with the EXP Realty situation, the meeting that they had with Glenn Sanford yesterday, that type of thing. Very good information. And particularly for real estate agents, this is a very good lesson to learn as well. The whole purpose of us being together on a consistent basis here is to grow your business, to get you lots of closings and to learn from people that are smarter than us or people that have some advice that can help us out. So if you didn't watch the video that I shot yesterday, this is going to mean nothing to you. Go back right now and watch that video on EXP Realty. The very first day, it had, I don't know, almost 5,000 views on YouTube, 4,000 and some on Facebook. I don't even know all the platforms that we got thousands and thousands of views on, but I do know I had over 600 emails yesterday from those that have watched it. But I'd say right about 10,000 agents watched it the very first day that it was published. And I tried to reply to as many people as possible and keep it as constructive as possible, meaning constructing a bigger business for yourself. What can you learn from this? If you didn't watch that video, go back and watch it right now. I messed up in one section of it. I called it a non-compete rather than a non-solicitation, but I'll tell you what the difference is here. So many of you know, if you work for me, and you sign a non-compete, it would say you can't work for any other real estate coaches, right? If you worked for a brokerage and you signed a non-compete, it would say you can't compete against them, which means they sell real estate. You can't compete by selling real estate. If they recruit agents and pay their people and you get paid by recruiting people, that's a non-compete. But if I can't solicit those people, I actually can't compete. Does that make sense? So like if you're paid by recruiting people, you are literally soliciting people. Yes, there's a million other brokerages you can solicit and all of that, but you can't solicit their people. The number one complaint you hear from agents all around the United States about EXP, what's the number one complaint that you hear? EXP agents are soliciting me all the time. I get calls all the time. They all want to meet with me. They all want to have coffee. They all want me to watch this presentation. They all send me emails. They're all in my DMs, my direct messages. My number one complaint is EXP people are soliciting me all the time. But if you leave, you can't solicit EXP people, which means you can't compete against that company when it comes to the recruiting side. So anyway, just wanted to clarify that. Again, to be very clear, I am a major investor in EXP. It's the only real estate brokerage I'm involved with. I'm involved with a lot of tech investments right now. That the tech world took a big hit this year, as you guys know. But I absolutely love the company. And the lesson you can learn from yesterday, Glenn Sanford got on the video and was addressing that, as well as kind of, look at all the great things we're doing and all that. Great, because I want to see the company keep doing well. But he specifically addressed, and if you saw, my son Zach is one of the top 1% in the world, I believe, for recruiting. The only thing he does is recruit agents. So he's a top producer with EXP on that side. That's the only thing he does, which is to say, if he ever left, he couldn't compete. It would be a non-compete, because the only way he makes his money is by recruiting, training, and getting agents selling more properties. Hopefully that makes sense for you. But I digress. Glenn addressed what we said in the chat and said, you know what? Maybe we should address this 24-month thing. Maybe we should take it to the agents and see what people's thought process is to shorten it up. My recommendation was 60 days. A lot of agents commented in there. Somebody commented, well, Luther doesn't own the company. Maybe you don't know how ownership of companies work, but you're correct. I'm not the majority owner by any means, but every shareholder, including the individual agents, is an owner. They will tell you that. With that in mind, Glenn did an outstanding job of saying, you know what? I'm not hard-headed. I'm willing to listen to others. Let's take it and let's look at it and see if it does make sense. I think that's a wise move. I think that no matter how good you are as an agent, you can always learn, you can always improve, you can always do a better job if you're open to doing so. Right? So there's a big lesson to learn there. They're willing to listen to your recommendations. Now, again, for clarity, because I had over 600 emails, so I'm trying to like address all of these great information. Thank you so much, Greg. I love what you're doing. Thanks for watching out for the agents. I appreciate that you're watching out for the agents, even though you're involved with ownership of a company like that. Like, you know, as an example, if I own millions of dollars of Google, if I have a big significant share in Google as an owner, I'm not really advocating for the employees. So let's do more for the employees because that costs the owners money. That's exactly what I'm doing here because agents matter. Their success, their ability to succeed no matter where they go. If they go to PXE Realty and decide they want to start recruiting people, they should be able to call anybody they want. Now, again, yesterday they said your team can go with you. Of course, you can take your employees with you. Of course, you can take your team with you. But let me assure you that a top recruiter can't take thousands of agents with them. That's not what this is your team, not your downline. Do not confuse the two. So anyway, I absolutely love where it's going. I love that agents, investors, or otherwise can say, you know what, this is kind of an issue for us. Can we at least look at it? And they're willing to look at it. They will likely change it. From a marketing perspective, I think they missed it yesterday. I think they missed the opportunity. We've got some companies that are, when companies are trying to get agents, they'll all say anything about anybody. I used to have a Keller Williams office. You know, there was all these problems with all the other people and why we're better. The people that are with EXP, oh, here's why we're better and all of that stuff. I think it's a missed opportunity because when you can get that type of media, when you can get that type of interest, when people like me are showing this to tens of thousands of realtors over the next week or so, you'll likely see that's the case. I think it's a missed opportunity to say, you know what? You're right. 2 years is too long, and we're so great anyway. We're not worried about anybody leaving. I mean, where in the heck would you go? We're going to go ahead and change it to 60 days. Now you can laugh in the face of all of the people that were running their mouths, saying all of the things about how it's so horrible and you should come to my brokerage. And they all have their own reason for saying so. I don't have a dog in the fight. That's the advantage. I can be completely transparent on both sides of the equation, but I think it was a missed opportunity to say, you know what? They're saying we're horrible because we have a 2-year non-solicitation agreement. And if you do leave, you're not allowed to recruit EXP agents. You're right. And we're so damn good. We're not even worried about it. We're changing it to 60 days. You know what would happen? You would get more people coming to your company. You would get more recruits coming in. So from a marketing perspective, I think it was a missed opportunity that could have been capitalized on because I get to talk to thousands of agents around the country. I know what brokerages are out there. And let me be clear with you, by the way, I don't give a damn which brokerage you're with. I have no vested interest either way. I don't want you to go to any, even if I'm a shareholder there, like big deal that I think the cap's 18 grand. So my percentage of that would be about 13 cents. You know what I mean? Like there's zero benefit from me getting you to go anywhere or whatever. I don't care who you're with. And I'll tell you something else. I don't think any individual brokerage is going to turn anybody around. I think a lot of that's done through your own mindset and how you're getting coached and what you're doing every day, the task that you're doing every day. So let's be clear about that. I don't have a dog in the fight, but I do think that anything a brokerage does, and let me be very clear about this. I should have started the video like this. Anything a brokerage does to hinder an agent from making money or exposing their business to the local market after they leave that brokerage, if you hinder them in any way, it should be killed. As an example, they should not provide them with an email address. One of the biggest things I struggled with when I was a real estate agent, I wanted to leave a brokerage because I was opening the Keller Williams office. I'm also not affiliated with them. I'm not licensed now. The biggest struggle I had was all of my clients knew that email address. And when I leave, let's call it ABC Realtors. When I leave, Greg Luther at ABC Realtors is no longer owned by me. It's owned by them, and they're going to forward all of that to everyone else. Yes, you can tell your clients you have a new contact and all of that, but you're going to miss out on business that way. That's the way it used to be when we had desk phones as well. I think anything that a brokerage does to hold that agent hostage or to create a pain of disconnect should be killed. That should not exist in this market. You should be wide open. That is, as an agent advocate, I think it's crucial that we do it that way. So anything you see, now, by the way, that non-solicitation / in my opinion, non-compete, that is in that independent agreement, independent contractor agreement, it's always been there. Yeah, well, nobody, literally nobody reads those things because the people that are upset about it now, If they would have read it when they first signed it, they would have been upset about it then. But they know they're going to a great company. It's not a problem for them. Sometimes you find some things that you later decide you're not cool with anymore. As an example, not too long ago, I decided I didn't want to be fat anymore. Oh, okay, well, it's been there for 2 years. Yeah, that fat's been around for a lot longer than 2 years. I just decided I don't want to do that anymore. And if you're going to improve yourself, you have a meeting about it and you find a way to improve yourself. So I think that holding their database, holding their CRM, holding their email address, their phone number, not giving them the ability to practice in any way they want to practice after they leave you is a problem. You shouldn't have a worry. You know, like how can you say, well, our people don't want to be bombarded by phone calls? Have you talked to any other agent in the United States of America ever about their number one problem is being bombarded by phone calls? You're not stopping that. You're not helping that. That's called competition. So again, I think it's an awesome company. I think that there's no problems with it. I'm not bashing them by any means, but I do think there's policies with everything you do. We just changed a policy here at my coaching business. You guys would laugh your ass off if you heard what it was. Particularly if you know my personality, but we just changed a policy here. Why? Because we need to get better. We need to do a better job. Many of you that know me can probably guess what that policy was. But it's so important for you to continue improving and to find things that aren't that good. In this individual instance, EXP's competition found it. And if I owned the brokerage wholly, I would have pounced all over it. I'd have been like, you're right. And we're so damn good. We're going to change it. We'll make 100 calls for you if you leave. Because like that shows how good you are and you would actually do better. So trust me, they got no problems going on. They're doing well. That's why I'm there. But I try to be an active investor. Not only am I an advocate of the real estate agent, but I'm also an active investor. I'm a major investor in Facebook and Google. Major by my terms, right? When we start talking getting close to $1 million, that's major for me. So I try to be involved with that and make suggestions. And definitely I have a loud voice. I can be heard. I can get in front of thousands of people. So it's important for me to make sure that the agent is protected. That becomes first and foremost with everything that we do. All of the coaching that I'm involved with, if you look down in the video description here, you'll see all kinds of links. All of this is designed to help agents in growing their business. Yeah, you got to be coached by me to make that stuff happen. But there's a lot of free stuff, tons of free stuff that I put out to advocate for the agent, to help them in making more money. I've always told agents, you don't have a problem with expenses, you have a problem with income. And if we can fix that income side of what you're doing, all those expenses go. Like if you close one more house a month, that's like 10 Mercedes, right? It's at least 5 Mercedes in your driveway every single day, paid for by one closing a month. So you don't have a problem with expenses. You don't have a problem. I need a new car. I need a new house. I got debt. I've got to pay the IRS. I've got student loans. I've got credit card debt. No, you don't. You just need a couple closings. And if you fix that problem, you're in business. So the stuff that I have down in the video description here, if you're following this page and you get notifications, you ring the bell. So you get notifications every time this stuff comes up. If you're consuming my content, obviously our book on, I was just going through this and signing a few of these, our book on Amazon, The Profit Path for Real Estate Agents. By the way, if you spend $12, they send me like 50 cents. But this type of stuff makes a big difference for real estate agents. I'm all about helping agents to grow their business. So my hope is that they do the right thing. I think they've handled it okay, very well so far. I have no bones about the company themselves or about any company that does this, because frankly, a lot of companies have that in there. Again, nobody reads the damn thing. But I really think if they protect the agent's best interest, they're going to win in the end. We'll see how it goes. Again, the closest I have is my son. My son's 20 years old. He's there, and the only thing he does is recruit and train agents and help them to close lots of business. That's the only thing that he does. But I know if he were to leave and hundreds of agents were getting phone calls because they're in his downline, that ain't his team. He don't have a team. So anyway, hopefully they do the right thing. and we'll see what happens with it. But thanks so much for watching. I feel like I've been rambling. Right? But it's so important for you to find holes in your business and to take advice from others and to at least consider it. That doesn't mean you need to do it. I get advice every damn day that I'm like, that ain't where I want to go. So no. Um, but you should be listening to others and trying to improve what it is that you do. Even if you're I don't even know what they are because I don't pay attention to brokerages, but if they're the best company or the fastest growing or the most international or the biggest referral or whatever they are, you can always still get better. So I think you'll find that that will be the case. Seemed like they handled it pretty well so far. We'll see where it ends up. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you are following the page and turning on notifications here. But most importantly, check out the links below. And I think you'll find that we can get your business going in the right direction. Always protect the agent. That's the one that's out there in the streets, making the money, making everything happen. If no sale happens, no economy happens. We need salespeople, and you got to protect them with everything you can. I'm certainly an advocate for that. Go out there and hustle. Let me know what I can do to help you. We'll talk soon. I'm Greg Luther, and bye-bye for now.